Hey, what's up, everybody? It's fucking 420.
It is 420.
We gotta talk about that.
Okay, let's talk about 420.
I guess that's what we're...
Let's start by introducing ourselves, though, first.
Who are you?
This is the Higher Minds podcast.
Yeah.
I'm Scott.
I'm Darby. Papa Darby.
We have a couple guests with us today.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hello. Who are you?
I am Dorie. I work at a dispensary. I'm a bud tender, and I brought some goodies today.
Oh my God, did she bring some good news? These
She
are fucking
did.
sweet.
Some good
I'm
shit.
excited to try this.
And we're okay. So we're supposed to have already been smoking, but I can't decide what the fuck we're gonna start with.
Yeah. Normally we're a bowl deep before we even hit record. So
Yeah.
let's start with this caviar thing.
Oh my God. Yeah, let's start with.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
So this is caviar moon rock, and it's a cone. It comes in a moon rock form too, but caviar is essentially bud dipped in oil, wrapped in keef, and caviar only make two products, this and their moon rock, so they just strictly do caviar, which is the name with a K, caviar.
Caviar. That's a nice label too. That's elegant looking.
Yes.
And this glass tip, I've never seen this.
Is it
before.
glass?
Yeah. You want to see this?
Yeah, let me see.
It's nice. I like to keep those for if
Ooh,
you use
Right? That'd be good for
another
roaches
day.
and shit.
Yep.
wow, everybody! I highly suggest that you guys do this.
This is fancy.
You want to see it?
No, it's fine.
Who are you?
I am H.
This is H. We're coming to you from the H&K shed in Loveland, Colorado.
And I can even tell you what this is.
Yeah,
So,
what is that?
We started carrying it in our shop. It's called a Yocan. So it's essentially a portable dab tool. So you
nice.
take the top off, and there's a coil in there. I'll even show you it's kind of kicked up. So you hold down the thing, but once it's all sealed, you can take a really nice dab. These are really, I think they're $40. But this is cool too. On the bottom, it actually has a little place for your dabs.
Oh, no shit.
I don't really have anything in it because it's kind of a bitch to get out of.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still some gunk in here, and I was going to say if you want to try a hit, you really just hold it down and you can just rip on it forever.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it, please.
Maybe. Oh, it's off.
Go
Go figure. Hey, travel safe.
So what's the brand?
So it's
Do you have to hold the
called,
button?
yes, it is called an Evolve. So Yocan makes a product called Evolve. So there's Evolve XL and there's Evolve XL Plus. This is an XL Plus. So you can put a single dab in there at one time, but I kind of just put a whole bunch so I don't have to load it all the time. And normally it sucks me when I play video games. So instead of hitting my e-cig, I'm just, so that way I'm not waiting to torch something. Oh shit, the game started. It's more just take a quick rip.
Yeah. Although I do kind of enjoy
handy.
the ritual of heating up the end of a
No, yeah,
tube. That's fun,
it's fun.
but that's super convenient. And wow, that hit a lot harder than I
I
thought.
mean, you're
That hit
welcome
nice.
to just keep, because we still have to.
We got
smoke
so much
this.
shit here to
Oh
try.
my God. We're not going to smoke. We're smoking like Snoop Dogg up in here.
You got a fire stick?
Yeah,
A
right
lighter?
Oh yes, and then the other thing I brought is
wow.
the lab makes a vaporizer. So I don't know if you've heard of the PAX 2, the PAX 3. They make a little cartridge pen called a PAX Pod. So it's like a cartridge, but it's more hands-free, and these ones kind of the cartridge ones kind of will get bubbles in them, or they don't work, and people just, I feel like they're more happy with the PAX. But this one, all you do is literally grind up some weed, put a little bit on the bottom, and you wait for the light to light up, and it'll turn green. I made mine Rick, but
Yeah.
once it turns green, you just puff. There's a little mouthpiece, so the instructions even say sip on it gently. It's super. There's not a whole bunch of vapor, but it makes me get more flavor profiles when I'm trying stuff to recommend to people. Oh, is this harsh, or what does this taste like? Because when you light it, you're pretty much burning some of the flavor. So this is more of full flavor. But the cool thing about the vaporizer is when you're done with the actual bud, you can use it. It's decarbonated, so you can make a can of butter and repurpose it. So sometimes I'll just make some butter with it.
Nice.
So it's green,
And she's hitting it?
and you kind of just have to sip on it. But
You got to hold anything?
nope. This one is a Colorado Chem from Local Up. It was really nice.
Nice.
But you might kind of have to pull a little hard.
Yeah, you got to pull harder than you think.
But sometimes I'll pull and then pull and then pull and then just keep pulling it.
Pull as an inhale.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, wow. This is overwhelming. There is so much cool shit here.
Shit I've never even seen.
Yeah, this is all new to me. There's going to be pictures of this shit. For sure. So yeah, fucking 420. Hey guys, I wrote a 420 holiday song. Okay, just so you guys know, around Higher Minds podcast, 420 is the holiday of holidays. Yay, 420.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, and then we're going to pause, and then hear some sounds, party sounds, as we get our electronic sounds ready.
Yay!
I like that. Okay, that goes off really wrong. But anyway, so it goes, and it's jaunty, so you have to do this marching in place arm swing. It's 420 day, yes, it's 420 day, let's smoke a bowl today, because it's another day, and that's 4 lines, and 2 of them are the same. So, yeah, I wrote that song.
Yay.
Okay, yes, thank you guys.
Well done.
Everybody is, yes, very stunned with it.
It's a good song.
Speechless is what we are.
So,
Let's
yeah,
try this caviar.
oh, yes, we're going to light up that
Yeah.
caviar. Anyway, so today we are going to talk to you about a couple of 420 related things. Scott's going to start with the history of 420 and cannabis and marijuana, and he will be better explaining what he looked up. And I'm going to take you back through history on happenings on 420 throughout time. There's a lot fucking there. It's going to be the I hope that a couple of these things on this list is something we can take a really deep dive and do too, like as an independent episode.
So let's start at the beginning of the beginning.
The beginning of the beginning.
The beginning of the beginning. The sea squirt is what we have to thank for our ability to get stoned.
The sea squirt?
Yes.
What the fuck's a sea squirt?
It's a
I saw a
primitive.
movie about that. It was an adult movie.
The sea squirt is a primitive water animal thing.
Okay.
It's a glob, basically. But it was the first living thing to develop cannabinoid receptors. From the sea squirt, all other vertebrate evolved from them.
Interesting.
So because of them having cannabinoid receptors, we can get high.
So there was something way back when to elicit these receptors to be developed.
Mhm.
And I guess the assumption is cannabinoids.
Well, they work very similar to dopamine and serotonin receptors, basically.
I'd imagine the mechanism would be the same.
From what I read, the cannabinoid receptors evolved long before the cannabis plant.
Weird.
Yeah, I thought so too.
So that's not even the
Also,
chicken and the egg.
obviously,
issue.
the cannabis plant evolved on land where the cannabinoid receptors in the sea squirt evolved in the sea.
Interesting. That's a weird, series of events.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't make sense at all, but that's what I read.
Huh.
That all came from a clip I saw by the BBC, actually. So I'm going to say it's pretty legit.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
After that, like I said, the cannabinoid receptors evolved before the cannabis plant. Cannabis plant came about 38 million years ago. Started out in Asia, spread via the Silk Road, basically, into Europe, and then eventually the Americas.
Huh. Yeah, it's been in
There are-
for a long time.
More strains of cannabis than there are breeds of dogs. To put that in some sort of perspective for you.
There is a website called Phyloscience, and it is where people send in tissue cultures of their plants, and it tells you if the genetics have already been claimed. It's kind of cool. There's a ton,
Interesting.
and they organize it by like indica or sativa, like landrace or not.
And what is this?
So it's just a place online called Phyloscience, and it shows
Phyloscience.
you people send in their stuff, because if you think about it, it's like this person has grown this and this, and then they're going to call it this, but who's like, I've seen it at the dispensary, like some stuff is the same genetics, but the names are different. So I feel like that could be confusing. like from where it came from. I feel like eventually everything's going to be a hybrid. You're going to run out of, unless somebody finds more sativas or indicas, they're going to like other countries and they're finding these seeds.
But it's not really a problem. I mean, we'll still have the...
No, I mean, we're always going to have weed, but
yeah.
I feel like eventually with all this tissue culturing, it's going to be like genetically modified to be exactly what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If they're already getting them stronger and stronger than they... Like, California, even more so than Colorado. From what I've heard, California has some crazy strong weed out there.
Do you think that's the same way alcohol was back in the day? Was it like... I really don't think alcohol... Yeah, exactly. But also, it wasn't as strong. And that,
yeah, true, yeah. And eventually they developed into fucking 151.
100, yeah, exactly.
Well, even beyond that, with white light... Jesus, I can't talk. White lightning during the Prohibition days. Moonshining and stuff.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, that is just straight up grain alcohol. Like, good shit. Throw a little bit of lemon in there. It's good stuff.
I'm not a big drinker. Big old smoker, but nah.
I will get down on some moonshine every once in a while.
I mean, I am having a beer right now, which is I drink a beer every once in a while.
I mean, percentage-wise, though, there's a 15% variance in what they test, and there's 3 different places who test weed, but a lot of people do come in and go for the highest percent. Sometimes,
I used to, yeah.
Sometimes it's intriguing, but I've also had stuff that's tested like low 20s, and it kicks my ass.
Well, so Jake explained it to me. I assume you remember him.
Yes.
A mutual friend, explained to me that it's the combination of the THC and the terpenes.
Right.
Because the terpenes... so when you go and you choose and you go smell your weed, the stuff that smells best to you are the things that will affect you best, because that's according to your own body chemistry. That's what you'll be more affected by, right. I guess. So I was thought that was interesting. So I don't go for
what was that?
Perfect moment sort of thing.
420.
It's a 420 fairy.
Yeah. So anyway, I used to go for high percentage, but now it's about what smells best now.
I mean, I definitely like taste the most. I mean, I also like effect. Like, I am kind of a weed nerd. I mean, coming from animal medicine background, like, I want to see how it affects me so I can better see how it affects other people. But I mean, I keep a journal about what I like and what I don't like. And we get so many people.
You are a weed nerd.
So many people who come in and they're like, well, I don't know if I've tried it. And it's like, all you have to do is write it down, put a check mark or an X,
That's really cool.
if you liked it or not. But I mean, I like to put like who grew it. So that way, if I go back and be like, have I had this? And I'd be like, okay, I've had this, but not from this grower. I don't know. I'm just...
No, that's I dig it. Do you have a big old matrix like on your wall? Is it like with like red lines and shit?
How is that made so much pictures?
But I mean, based on what
where is Golden Goat?
Well, Golden Goat.
Right? Where the fuck is Golden Goat?
I like Golden Goat, but it does make me feel a little racy sometimes. Like
I like it.
I love Golden Goat. That is my shit. And you guys never have it. Every time I'm in there, I ask, and it's never.
Now, are you talking about the flour or the wax?
Well,
yes.
It's all. I mean,
the wax I hit way too hard the first time I had the Golden Goat wax, and I went completely deaf for a couple minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like couldn't hear myself snap my fingers.
It's like a whip it kind of thing.
Oh, completely deaf for like 2 minutes.
You guys ever done a whip it?
No.
Oh gosh, a long time ago. That was bad.
Oh yeah, that was fun in high school. I'm a lot stupider now.
You know it, and you know it. Yeah.
So anyway, where the fuck we do this? By
That's
the way,
okay.
Have you listened to this at all?
I did listen to one. He sent me a link, so I kind of knew what I was getting into.
We ramble and
That was fine.
Yeah.
We get off way off topic.
I mean, my short-term memory is very bad.
Yeah, you seem to be really knowledgeable about this shit.
I mean, that's
But you
because
are a nerd.
This is
about
what
it.
she does, though.
I like it.
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
I still do the vet tech stuff, but it's more, I kind of immerse myself in what I do, and sometimes it's hard to like turn it off when I go home. I don't know. I like helping people, and it's easier to help them find their weed because I also get to smoke weed.
Yeah. Oh, so have we mentioned where this shit came from?
where cannabis came from, or where this specific cannabis came from?
What store? What dispensary this came from?
This is Natural Alternatives for Health in Fort Collins. We're pretty awesome. Everybody I work with is kind of my best friend, so it's nice coming into work and see all my friends and sell weed with them.
You can tell that when you walk in there too, that you guys all
we
get
always
along.
joke around and we kind of try to. I don't know. I feel like other dispensaries, I kind of wait, and there's just a lot of waiting, and I just feel like it's a little bit more serious than it needs to be. We kind of try to make it fun and let you actually see things and smell things and.
It is. I mean, like I said, I've been going there for years. It's my favorite spot. I've been to a few different places around Fort Collins. It's Fort Collins, Colorado, by the way. Check it out if you're over in northern Colorado. But yeah, it's I'm. I have the numbers of a bunch of you guys, and I've been friends with a bunch of you guys for a while. Whenever I'm in town or around, I try to see as many of you as I can. So it's a great place. If I can go there.
It's literally the only place I get my weed from.
Oh, me too. Anymore.
Same here.
It's the first one I've been to, and I just keep on going.
They have the best. They have the best knowledgeable people. They have the best selection, and they have the best prices for it. I mean, they're like that good weed dealer that you used to know back in the day.
I mean,
and they're the closest one to Loveland.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I've been to other dispensaries just to see what the competition is and see what's going on, and I still think you're paying a little bit more for our bud, but it's actually really good. Like some of the other stuff.
I found other places are more expensive than you. I mean, it's not as impressive shit.
Oh, this is nice. This caviar. I don't think I've ever had I've had the moon rock before, but not the actual.
I tried to make my own moon rocks once, and
sticky.
Yeah, it worked. I got stoned as fuck, but it was a pain in the ass. And kind of looked ugly. It didn't look like it did on the magazines.
What the fuck's a moon rock?
So it's essentially so a caviar is the bud dipped in oil wrapped in keef. So a moon rock is essentially like a nug of that. So it looks all keefy on the outside, but you open it up and it's like gooiness.
Jeez.
It's those pictures of they look like geodes.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen them.
Sometimes I'll put it in like a little chillum and go somewhere, but it's nice because it's literally one and done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those things are pretty strong. Eureka, who do cartridges and syringes, they have started doing a lot more flavored stuff, and so they are now doing a joint. It's a 1 gram joint, but it has flavored distillate and bud, so it literally tastes like a Swisher, but it's just a raw cone, and you can't finish that thing by yourself.
That must be what we had that time. Because you mentioned these, and I thought I had this before, but I'd never seen this. That must be that joint that we had that got us all kinds
of
fucked
There's a Concord lime.
It is,
and those are freaking delicious.
Yeah, it was the lime one.
They're like $20 or something or 25, right?
I don't know what. You guys got them in...
18.
Oh, okay, 18.
Where were we?
History of cannabis. Started in Central Asia. God damn, I can't talk. Humans discovered it about 10,000 years ago, give or take. Basically, the end of the last ice age is when we came across it. It spread by Eurasian nomad tribes via the Silk Road to Europe. First Western mention of cannabis came in 5th century BC by Greek historian Herodotus. He described how the nomads had burned and inhaled the plant. So they were smoking it at least 5th century BC in the Roman Empire, Greek Empire.
Nice. I was probably shitty ass shit. I bet everybody had a headache all the time.
H.
There you go.
Awesome.
I'm good for now.
So cool.
So that's cannabis through the Eurasian continent, basically.
Yay, cannabis. I'm a fan.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I used to feel super awkward going into the dispensary before I worked there. I just felt like I was always doing something wrong.
Really?
They were what? They were.
I was always doing something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because I can sense that in people, and it's like, this is totally cool. I try to make it more upbeat. It's like, don't be freaked
I
out.
have noticed that, especially at NA. Like they treat you like you're. Yeah, I don't feel like that there.
But some places
really
you're like, okay, you're like the weed police, and I just want some weed.
Yeah.
I knew I was like a legit stoner when you guys started like giving me the nod and shit when I'd walk in. Like, oh, what's going on? Like, it's like, oh, I'm here way too often. So how old were you guys when you first started smoking? Because I bet I'd lose this one.
I remember. Yeah.
All right. So how old?
I was 13.
13?
Same.
Yeah.
13?
23, I think, somewhere around there. 24.
28.
Wow.
I got high for the first time when I was 28.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You're 30?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. I was a big old drinker back in the day. We just didn't have any interest in like.
I can almost say, like statistically, not actually, but statistically, I've smoked weed every single day since I was 13.
I can't. Yeah, and I mean, I smoked it with my friends, but I remember when I actually started buying it, I would hide it in the house, and I would always freak out that I couldn't find it and be like, "She found it. She's gonna come after me." Be like, I'm gonna go walk the dogs.
All right, so you said you remember your very first time getting high.
Yeah. I was with a friend. His name was Jeremy. It was in Akron.
AK Rowdy.
Yeah. I was down the street from Cyberling Elementary.
Yep.
And we went. It was the first time I'd ever seen a joint. I didn't know what was going on. I'd heard about it, and I was super curious, as everybody who's ever smoked weed is. And we did, and I didn't think I got stoned. But I acted fucking stupid playing basketball. I couldn't do anything, and I was just screaming like a lunatic. So I definitely got stoned. But it was, Then I've been on a hunt for it ever since until it got legalized.
H?
There was a lot of shit going on back then. No, I moved to Colorado from California maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. So it was a big, marijuana is pretty big there. And either way, I was just somehow, I was big into the alcohol, back in the day, and it just showed up one day, and I'm like, all right, let's give it a shot, and I ended up liking it. Yeah. Now I'm here in Colorado, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
Well, now it's legal recreationally in California now too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. Colorado beat California to that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody thinks that California was the first one because it kind of, I don't know, it seemed like it was.
It is so easy to get your medical card out there. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Your first time?
I remember being at a friend's house and his mom was at work and he pulled out a sack of weed and was like, let's get high. And I just remember sitting outside and we were watching cars go by and I was just like staring off, or I would get distracted really easily and I was like, this is nice. But yeah, then, I hung out with all the hacky sack stoner kids in high school, so I would go get high on the weekends instead of drink.
What's funny is I played hacky sack with the kids in my school, but they probably weren't into drugs.
I moved to Colorado about 10 years ago. I graduated with 85 people in my class. It was middle of nowhere, Texas. It was called Aubrey.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, there wasn't much to do out there instead of smoke weed and like drink in fields or ride horses.
I graduated I went to a bunch of different schools, but the biggest school was like 800 kids.
Yeah, I graduated several hundred. It was probably 500-600, I bet.
I went to the same school from kindergarten until I graduated. And then I got the hell out of there.
No idea what that's like. I went to 7 different schools by the time I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
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 I moved here and I had a guy that I would always get my weed from, and it was mostly because I was too nervous to like go into a dispensary, so I just get it from the same guy, and then I actually did, and I was like, it's about the same price, and look at all these choices.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I started working at the dispensary where I actually started dabbing. Like, it's still something that I occasionally do, but I don't know, my tolerance, I feel like it's really high on dabs. So flower I always smoke, but I'll go in between like edibles and dabs, and the thing is, just don't overdo it, because then you're just, I don't know, you're just wasting money.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I had a guy today who was like, I smoke 8 grams a week. Is that a lot? And I was like, that's kind of a lot. Damn. I was like, you should just kind of give it a break for a couple
So, a gram, in my opinion, a gram is about the same as an eighth of flour.
Well, that's like, legally, that's how it is. So you can only get an ounce, so 8/8. So that includes edibles. So like this edible is an eighth, or this is an eighth, and this is an eighth. So when you're dealing with an ounce, everything is included. So if you're getting bud, if you're getting edibles, like even this caviar counts as an eighth.
I'm gonna try this thing.
Yeah. So that one is product we don't carry, but look how freaking blingy it is. I had to bring it.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
You need a picture of that next to our blingy microphone.
You're right. Yeah, it goes right with it.
But this other one is, so this is a really nice, these guys, they do an artificial flavor in their distillate, but this one is grape, and it's an indica, but I know it's
That's
nice.
a good one. At the shop. I love it. It's like a toolbox in the bag.
Did you get the Ron Paul sticker, though?
I maybe. So, what's its brand?
So that one we don't actually carry in a disposable, but it's a CRX, so they do live resin too, but I haven't tried that one. It's kind of half full, but we'll see how it hits.
It glows when you hit it.
Yes, this one...
It's gold and it glows.
Tasty. Get one try? Anybody?
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. I mean, they're coming a long way. Green Dot, so distillate is what they're using, so CO2 extraction,
Ooh.
but now some people are doing the live resin cartridges, so it tastes like it's
I didn't
more
know that was a
convenient.
thing.
Yeah,
Huh.
I should have brought one. Actually, Green Dot does them. They're really good. But Green Dot, I've been pretty impressed with. We actually had a Green Dot rep come to our work party, and he was like our personal dabber. Like, he would come and be like, would you like this dab? And then he would go and clean the dab and come back with another dab. And he'd be like,
That's
yes,
awesome.
sir.
That is really good, yeah.
This the one you said to try?
Yeah, that's
And
So my first time getting high,
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
like I said, I was a big drinker through high school, all through my 20s.
Did I know you? Yeah, I knew you 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
We started hanging out shortly after my very first time getting high.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My very first time, I went and got gummies. Because I lived in a non-smoking apartment and everything, and I didn't want to fuck with that. So I just went and got edibles, right? I'm a fat guy. With alcohol, being a fat guy gives you a big advantage. I can drink way more than somebody half my size, just because I'm big. I assumed edibles were the same way. So it says one is a serving, right? So I'm like, I'll take 2, right? If one's good enough for a normal person, 2's good enough for me. And I gave it an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm like, oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
So I ate 2 more, right? And another half hour later, the first 2 kicked in, I think.
Yeah, and you're like,
And I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Mm-hmm. And then another hour later, the second 2 kicked in. And I was like, oh, fuck. So my very first time getting high, I got way too high.
Speaking of edibles.
It was edible high?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
We got some edibles here, right?
Yes. So
what's up with these?
I just did
Anybody?
a learning seminar about these guys. So they actually grow their weed that they use in their edibles, but they perfected their can of butter to where it's so potent that they only have to put a little bit into, it's still 10 milligrams, but you don't have to put a whole bunch into the cookies. But I guess the chocolate chip were the original one she came out with.
That's good.
But they're pretty, yeah.
It's not very weedy too.
No. So
And
it's a little bit.
I expect it to be crunchy.
Yeah, it's like.
So it even has microwave instructions.
Oh.
Or the old ones did.
Would that not hurt the THC?
I don't think so, because it should. So, I mean, everything's different,
right?
but yeah.
And more activation doesn't hurt it, does it?
Well, there's some places that use butter versus distillate. And I mean, maybe I notice a difference, but not a lot. I mean, the thing with edibles is a lot of people tend to overdo it to feel really stoned, but then I feel like you just crash. But if you do it a little bit, it kind of goes a little longer. Yeah, those are good. Yeah, they do a snickerdoodle and a peanut butter. But
I love snickerdoodles.
Oh, snickerdoodles. Both of us. My mom used to make good-ass snickerdoodles.
Yeah, snickerdoodles.
Do you guys still have notes, or?
Yeah, so
let's get into your history notes there.
Yeah, so one of the traditions that my family used to do on 420 is talk about past events at 420, so let me tell you a few things that has happened. I've got a big list here.
You do have a hell of a list
and
there.
I will go through some of it.
Start at the beginning.
Do we want to go through all of it? Do we want to go through all of it?
Might as well.
Okay.
What else we got to do?
Get stoner. So in 295, the 8th recorded perihelion passage of Halley's Comet happened.
In what year?
In 295. In 1611, the first known performance of Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth at the Globe Theatre in London was performed. In 1792...
This is all on April 20th of that year. I don't know if we were clear on that. Yes. April 20th of this year.
Well, no, of these years.
Of these years that he's reading.
Yes. So, in 1809, Napoleon and French forces defeat Austria at the Battle of Edensburg, Bavaria. In 1836, the territory of Wisconsin was created. I just learned this one today from Scott here. At 1861, Lee resigned from the Union Army and joined the Confederacy.
Because, of course, the tattooed white guy knows that one.
Yeah. There's some questions about that. There's a few of these things that I wanted to talk a little bit more about, and this is one of them. In 1884, Pope Leo XIII wrote the encyclical on Freemasonry. And
what the fuck is an encyclical?
It's fucking people writing. It's
yeah.
So H is going to tell us a little bit more about that.
I agreed to this before I started smoking. So.
You can pass it on.
No, that's all right. Humanimum Genus is a papal encyclical promulgated on 20 April 1884 by Pope Leo the 13th.
I like that.
Released in a
is that like the X-Files thing?
Released in the sense of the all right, I'm just gonna keep reading on here.
Okay.
It's tough enough for me to stay focused on this. Released in the ascent of the industrial age, Marxism, and the aftermath of the September 20, 1870 capture of Rome by the Kingdom of Italy military forces. From the Papal States, Humanimum Genus is principally a condemnation of Freemasonry. It states that the late 19th century was a dangerous era for the Roman Catholic Church, largely due to numerous concepts and practices it attributes to Freemasonry, namely naturalism, popular sovereignty, and the separation of church and state. Some of the strictures found... Strictures?
Scriptures?
It says strictures.
Where are you?
Right there. Some of the strictures... Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it means scriptures. Found in Humanum... I still can't fucking say that word. Genus still remain in force today. Should I keep going?
No. I'll summarize.
How nervous are you?
So basically, and this is super interesting to me. We know my love of, and I don't mean to offend anybody at all. I like the people. I don't like the organization, the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So apparently, the Freemasons have been so powerful throughout the years that they deserve a condemnation response. And apparently there's been some violence between them throughout the years. And I kind of, when I read through this, it's kind of akin to, and this is over dramatized, but the Dan Brown books. What are they called? Angels and Demons and all that stuff. So it's kind of...
the Tom Hanks movie?
Yeah, those ones.
What the fuck was that?
Well, one was Angels.
Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code. Yeah, but there's this kind of struggle between them that's super serious. I don't know. It's the Freemasons have always been interesting.
Between the struggles between what?
Struggles between Freemasonry and the Catholics.
The Catholics, yeah.
For instance, like it said, the Catholics aren't
the Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church. Sorry, the Catholic Church is not for the separation of church and state, which is something that I am super supportive of.
Yeah.
Well, you see how well they ran Europe.
I mean, they have a lot of power here too, but apparently there's the opposing force of the Freemasons, and they are worth a look as well at some point. Anyway, moving on. In 1889, Adolf Hitler was born. Yeah,
April 20th.
April 20th.
Just to remind that we're back on. All these are April 20th.
Yeah. So in 1902, Marie and Pierre Curie isolated the radioactive element iridium chloride. This one is close to home here. In 1914, April 20th, 33 killed by soldiers during mine strike in Ludlow, Colorado. And
you say a mine strike?
There was a mine strike. Listen to this.
Oh no!
Like gold mine.
One.
I was thinking landmine.
I
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking landmine.
Now's my chance,
I
guys.
smoked a lot of weed. Ludlow massacre.
Here,
The very first word.
I'm redeemed.
Pause real quick. So the Ludlow Massacre emanated from a labor conflict. The Colorado National Guard and Colorado Fuel and Iron Company guards attacked a tent colony of 1,200 striking coal miners and their families at Ludlow, Colorado on April 20th, 1914, with the National Guard using machine gun fire into the colony. Approximately 21 people, including miners' wives and children, were killed. The chief owner of the mine, John D. Rockefeller Jr., was widely excoriated for having orchestrated the massacre. So there's a lot of information also that I left here, but basically it was a labor strike. Rockefeller said, "Hey, work, or we'll kill you and your family," which seems kind of productive. And so he got the army to, well, I just said it.
How do you get the
kill
army?
these people.
That's crazy.
Well, he was
the richest man in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it might be harder now.
Didn't he bail out the U.S. government? Was that Rockefeller?
I don't know that. Maybe.
One of those early billionaire guys bailed out the government.
I don't know. But, so, it goes on to say that in retaliation for the massacre at Ludlow, the miners armed themselves and attacked dozens of anti-union establishments over the next 10 days, destroying property and engaging in several skirmishes with the Colorado National Guard along a 40-mile front from Trinidad to Walsenburg. An estimated 69 to 199 deaths occurred during the entire strike. Thomas G. Andrews describes it as the deadliest strike in the history of the United States. It is commonly referred to as the Colorado Coal Fire War. So this is kind of like an early Waco. You know, the government.
Other way, I think.
Do you want to use mine? It's easier.
It probably is easier.
There's one on here somewhere.
A Speedway card. I haven't seen a Speedway card in forever.
You said that last time.
Did I?
Yeah. So anyway,
I haven't seen a Speedway card since last time.
This was the government overstepping and killing its citizens over
What is this
being
one?
douches.
Blue Raz.
We just opened up a Keith Cola Blue Raz.
Blue Raz.
Blue rash?
Blue Red.
No, go see a doctor.
Is it a brew?
Don't even ask.
Don't look up blue waffle, which is also a type of a blue rash.
Oh.
Don't look it up.
Oh, wow.
I know you're totally going to.
I'm pretty sure everybody
Don't
looked
do
that up 10 years ago, but...
No, seriously.
That's
No,
hilarious.
but
That's
Blue Raz won a Cannabis Cup of best drink, so I
Ooh.
was like, let's see what that's about.
What the hell is
Alright.
this?
It's Blue Raz.
Blue Raz.
Is that carbonated or just...
I think it's
Does that
grapefruit.
raz in your mouth?
It's nice.
Mm.
I mean, they're only 10 milligrams, but they're pretty tasty. We have a root beer, and some people make root beer floats.
Oh.
Ooh.
Do they make weed ice cream?
No, but
Huh.
they should.
They should.
I mean, I'm
It's
sure
like easy
somebody
to do
does.
with the.
I'm sure somebody does.
Yeah,
I mean, they make freaking breast strips.
they do. They do. I'm
They
sure
make-
somebody thought ice cream.
Dissolvable. It's a dissolvable powder that you can put in anything. That's like, here, grandma, here's your muffin.
I saw there's a company in California that makes weed dip, basically. You put them in your lip like a snooze pouch or whatever.
What'd
And
you
you
say?
absorb... Snooze?
Snooze?
Mm-hmm. It's
It's
kind of like tobacco. I don't know.
It's in the little pouch.
Yeah, it's in a little tiny pouch, and you just
Oh.
tuck it in your lip like dip. But there's a California company making THC dippable things like that. And they come in a tin just like dip. You put a pinch in your lip, and it's supposed to kick in way faster than edibles and shit. Because it's absorbed through your your lip and gum
It's probably like
instead of your stomach.
Like a tincture. I mean, tincture's under the tongue, but I feel like you can feel results within like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. Wana, who does they're really popular. Wanas have really popular gummies, and they do a capsule, and it says time release on it. And I thought that was kind of, I don't know. I was like, how? Like, how is that time release? It's weed. It's essentially an edible in a gel form. But after doing that like learning thing, I realized that so you essentially get the first 5 milligrams straight on. So within like 15 to 30 minutes, they say you feel stuff. But then like another one will kick in. So I don't know what kind of technology they got going on. But it's like time delayed. It's where you get like a little bit and then you get a little bit later. So it's 12
like
hours instead of 6
like
hours.
a multi-level pill.
Kind of. It's kind of crazy.
I haven't seen those ones yet either.
No.
The Wana capsules.
So I've had the Wana gummies before.
Yeah,
The gummies are awesome. They have perfected their potency and like just you know what you're getting every time.
Mm.
And finally they repackaged. They were in a baggie, in a bottle, in a bag, or in a box. And they finally just like cut all that. It's really nice because when you're showing somebody or like explaining something, you're like, I'm going to get arthritis in like 2 years. When I'm getting all of it.
Yeah.
It's like, have you seen this? It's like, you got to stick this hoop in the goal and then you got to go pull the string. And
these ones here where you got to pinch them and slide the bottom piece. I can have a hell of a time with those.
I mean, they're cool packages. I do like them. They're cool looking.
I treat it like a game because I feel like it's a little puzzle.
At least you can't smoke it before you open it, you know?
Right.
Okay, so in 1920, 420, a tornado killed 219 people in Alabama and Mississippi. How many people die in tornadoes now?
I feel like it's not that many.
No, 219 seems like a lot for a tornado.
And this is what year?
In 1920.
Yeah, that was before we could see them coming with radar and shit, and had sirens.
And I guess a lot less people prepared.
Yeah.
I've seen Twister. Okay. There's like nothing out there.
I remember sitting on a tailgate of my truck, watching a storm one night with my roommate, sitting out there drinking beers, watching this storm roll across. We didn't realize that like 5-6 blocks behind us, a tornado touched down. We just thought it was like super shitty out.
I've never seen a tornado ever.
Really? I'm from Texas. We had them all the time. Like the storms there are like shakes the house with all the thunder.
So does it weird you out that you haven't seen them so much?
Kind of.
And then coming out here to Colorado, people are like, well, they're around. Like,
you get weird hail.
Yeah, hail.
That looks
well,
it's like snow hail. It's just like the little sonic ice.
They just like
that,
fall
covers
softly.
the road.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, my dad worked for FEMA, so it was just like emergency management, and we lived in Texas, so he was in charge of like Louisiana and Florida and Arkansas and Oklahoma, where all the shit happens.
Damn. I frequent Kansas, and I have been for the last couple of years, and still I haven't seen anything serious.
So growing up in Ohio, we used to get them a couple times a year.
Well, I grew up in Ohio too, and we got bad storms, and there was tornadoes around, but I've never seen one myself.
How do you feel about earthquakes?
Or been in one, really.
I mean, I've never really been in an earthquake. I feel like I'd be pretty terrified. I don't know.
Yeah. I grew up in earthquakes, so for me, earthquakes are like the same as Colorado. Like how they see tornadoes, it freaked me out because they're scared of earthquakes, and I grew up with them. I don't really care. And then,
Do you remember the Wednesday rule?
No.
No?
What?
They test the tornado siren on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So you'd hear it, and you're like, oh, shit. Oh, no, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
So if there was ever an actual tornado on a Wednesday, everybody just ignore it and die.
Don't tell the weather that.
So in 1934, and this one is going to link onto our next episode, is Heinrich Himmler becomes Inspector Prussian Secret State Police. Himmler was 2 or 3 after.
I think he was number 2 behind Hitler. Okay. He was like head of the SS.
Okay. So in 1945, German occupiers flood Beemster and Fencer. The same day, the Soviet army begins shelling Berlin. On that very same day, the U.S. forces conquer the Matobu Peninsula on Okinawa. Ever told you I used to live in Okinawa?
No. I had no idea you lived in Japan.
Yeah. My parents were Marines, and so We were stationed there for when I was a kid.
You learn something new about this guy every time.
How old were you?
Huh?
How old were you?
I was at 4 or 5.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was, it was okay. I don't remember too much of it. I was very young. So in 1951, the U.S. performs atmospheric nuclear test in Anahuac, which I got from, sorry, I looked this one up too. I totally butchered that name. It was Anahuac, also spelled, I'm not going to spell for you, whatever. Northwestern end of Rollick Chain, Republic of the Marshall Islands in the western Pacific Ocean, circular in shape, 50 miles long. It comprises 40 islands around a lagoon 23 miles in diameter. During World War II, it was captured from the Japanese by U.S. forces, and its fine anchorage was made into a naval base. The inhabitants were evacuated to other atolls, which is a sort of landmass, after it was designated with Bikini Atoll, testing ground for atomic weapons. Tests were held there in 1948, 51, 52, 54, and 56. In 1980, after the island's contaminated topsoil was removed, Anahuac was declared decontaminated, and its people were given an opportunity to return. Their first crops were found to be too badly contaminated, and as at Bikini Atoll, the people had to be removed again. So,
have you ever seen that documentary, movie, whatever you want to call it, about Bikini Island?
Oh, are you familiar with this? Because researching this, the first time I've ever heard of it.
Yeah, I know it just because I watched it.
Oh, what's up with
it? There's a documentary they filmed as they were dropping bombs on it to see what the fuck would happen.
Yeah.
Like the U.S. Navy, or whoever it was, videoed these explosions on Bikini Atoll.
Anything?
I think you can find it on YouTube. I think is where I found it.
I did not see that.
It's pretty decent. Worth checking out if that's something that interests you.
Yeah, it will. I'll check it out. Thank you. So in 1962, NASA civilian pilot Neil Armstrong took the X-15 to 63,250 meters. This one is interesting.
Fun fact, I share a birthday with Neil Armstrong.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Cool. Both of us. August 5th.
All right, so in 1962, New Orleans Citizens Committee gives free one-way rides to blacks to move north. This is fucked up. So, initiated and fueled by George Singleman of the White Citizens Council in New Orleans, the so-called Reverse Freedom rides were a segregationist publicity stunt that eventually purchased one-way bus and train tickets for 200 to 300 African American people to cities like New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, and LA. Many champions of the Negro race in the northern cities will certainly welcome you and help you get settled, a flyer said about the bus rides. Distinguishable only by who purchased their tickets, these rides became part of the so-called Second Great Migration, which spanned from 1941 to 1970. During that time, 5 million black Southerners moved to cities in the Midwest, North, and the West. A Brookings Institute analysis of the U.S. Census data found that between 1965 and 1970, 4,886 black New Orleanians became part of the migration. So this was racist motherfuckers trying to send all the blacks away. And it backfired for them. It turns like most of them just came back. And they were just hated more. And everybody,
See, I always thought they moved north because who the fuck wants to put up all the racist assholes in the South? I didn't realize that they were busing them up there.
Well, it's chicken egg. They didn't want to be there. They didn't want them there. And it was like, it's kind of...
Didn't get a free ride. Get a free ride.
But, I mean, it's still not... It's still not okay. It's... Everybody in America, every citizen has the right to live where they want and not be forced out. And not be intimidated to do so. I mean, this was during intimidating times. They were using fucking... They were killing these motherfuckers. I mean, just because they wanted to. So, I don't know. Fuck that time. Anyway, so in 1971, on 420, U.S. Supreme Court upholds use of busing to achieve racial desegregation. So, 9 years later, the Supreme Court does, completely reverses it. In 1973, 2 years after that, on 420, the serial Ed Kemper attempts to dispose of his mother's vocal cords in a domestic waste disposal unit. 420, yay, party!
Woo!
Yay!
Insert party sound here.
Yeah. I like true crime stuff. I said that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did a whole episode on it.
Oh, we did. Yeah. Have you?
Yeah.
Did you check that one out?
No, but I like the unsolved stuff. I don't know. I like getting all the perspectives and not having to do the research.
We did one or two episodes ago now on Dr. Margot Robbie.
Margot Praed. Margot
Who
Robbie.
the fuck is Margot Robbie?
She's played Joker's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh.
The latest Harley Quinn.
Okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know why the hell that name popped into my head, though.
Yeah, we don't know. Anyway. But yeah, check that out. It's good stuff. She was actually my doctor.
I'm just looking at you like,
I was like, matter of factly, she was actually my doctor, and I was like, okay.
So
I wonder what you're doing.
Getting the sounds ready.
Fucking clown in here.
So, in 1974, the troubles between Republican and Loyalist paramilitaries, British security forces, and civil rights groups claims its 1,000th victim. That'd be a pretty soft number, I would think.
1,000.
Yeah. Well, of the fucking wars in Northern Ireland. I mean, how do you count the 1,000th victim?
When they're that low, it's easy to keep track of, I guess.
I guess that's relatively low. I guess for a war. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. This one's funny. So, in 1975, 420, and now, like, I'm not interested in this kind of shit, but this, you'll see why. The 2019 Tony Awards were given to Equus and Wiz. You ever heard of Equus?
Nope.
Daniel Radcliffe, I believe, was the last person to revive this play. It's a
I
Broadway play.
couldn't tell you one thing about any Tony Award winning anything.
I'll tell you about this. It's good.
Who's Tony?
who's Tony?
He sells Frosted Flakes.
Okay. Get it.
He's
Anyway.
they're okay.
They're just fine.
That's the Frosty Flakes, the off-brand ones.
Anyway, so Equus is a drama play by Peter Schaefer, written in 1973, telling the story of a psychiatrist who attempts to treat a young man who has a pathological religious fascination with horses. Schaefer was inspired to write Equus when he heard the crimes involving a 17-year-old who blinded 6 horses in a small town near Suffolk. He set out to construct a fictional account of what had caused the incident without knowing any of the details of the crime. The play's action is something of a detective story involving the attempts of the child psychiatrist, Dr. Martin Dissert, to understand the cause of the boy's actions while wrestling with his own sense of purpose. So...
Is this the one where Harry Potter was naked on stage?
And fucked a horse? That one.
I didn't know it went that far.
Too.
Anyway, so numerous other issues from the narrative.
Kelly could be a guy's name. I'm sorry, Jesus. God damn, I gotta watch Clerks again.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing a Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah.
And what's his name? Fucking Bill and Ted? Adventures of Bill and Ted?
Oh, they're doing a new Bill and Ted?
Yeah.
That's their kids.
They're so old.
Apparently that's their kids, though.
I just need to drink.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Well, it's, I guess in the movie somebody said it's supposed to be their kids.
Oh, okay.
Bill and Ted's kids are going back. It's like a story about the kids.
Huh. Okay. I had no idea, but it looked interesting.
What is this?
It's water.
That's the Keef Life water. It's
That's
just
what water tastes like. Come on, man.
So not a fan of that one.
That is delicious.
Your face shows it.
Yeah.
Oh, just beaming, right? Smiling so hard. Yeah.
He didn't make a face.
Well, I don't know if it's water, but, it's good. It's good.
Does it taste like weed?
Yeah, I drink it again. No, funny. Some of that, whatever, cherries or whatever, totally kills the flavor. It really does.
Oh, that's the
I
cranberry.
wouldn't say it kills. I would say it pops.
Cranberry and lime.
No, kills the flavor
Who the fuck puts cranberry and lime together?
I don't think it tastes like weed.
It's lemon and lime. Everybody knows that.
But sometimes I feel like I can't smell weed anymore. Like everyone's like, "Oh, it smells so good in
You've
here at this
been
dispensary," and I'm just
desensitized.
like, sometimes I smell when I get back from being sick.
Thanks. Yeah.
So yeah, basically, it goes on to say this kid has weird fascination and ended up fucking his horse. And I guess Daniel Radcliffe did too. Yeah. Yay, Harry Potter.
That was funny.
420. You'll like this one. So in 1979 on 420, Jimmy Carter is attacked by a swamp rat, which swam up to his fishing boat in Plains, Georgia. Did you hear about this?
Why is this the first I've heard of this?
Fucking this motherfucking rabbit, a fucking rabbit.
Rabbit?
Like,
You said
saw him.
I thought you said rat.
You said swamp
rabbit.
Rabbit. That's way better than swamp rat.
I thought you said swamp rat, but I'm gonna Google the swamp rat.
This rabbit saw him from shore, swam, and attacked him. He had to fight him off with a paddle.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it either. Anyway, oh, this is another one of your favorites. Are you reading it?
Did you find swamp rabbit?
It just looks like a rabbit.
Oh, I expected this gross, like, green swamp.
I was thinking of Monty Python or like.
Like with like.
It's just a rabbit.
Like algae ears and shit.
Yeah, I expected this like gross.
Deadly
like
bunny.
If you've ever seen a rabbit wet, they're pretty gross.
Yeah.
I had a pet rabbit. He was awesome. His name was Dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't your brother have ducks with all names of alcohol?
Yeah. My brother's got a bunch of ducks, and they're all named after different alcohols. And he's got a dog named Guinness, actually, too.
His dog's name is Guinness?
Yeah. And he's got
that's awesome.
all kinds of ducks named after alcohols,
that's a cool name
too.
for a dog. Right?
He didn't name the dog had a name when he got it, and then he just followed suit with all these ducks.
So, a few more here. So, the tame Boeing 727-200, chartered by Air France, crashes into the Coro El Cable mountain after takeoff from Boca de Colombia.
And what year was this?
Killing 53 in 1998. In 1999, everybody knows this one.
Mm-hmm.
Columbine High School Massacre. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold killed 13 people and injured 24 others before committing suicide. That one happened down the road.
Yeah, just a little south of here.
Yeah. In 2007, a man with a handgun barricades himself in NASA Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, before killing a man and himself. Apparently, what happened there was he was afraid that he was having he was getting a bad performance review, and he got angry and killed him. Another man and himself.
Earned that bad review.
Yeah.
On like Yelp, they're like, this guy's not a good.
Yeah, he's probably not going to get a job again.
I had a friend in high school that I hung out with only because I was pretty sure somebody's going to shoot up school is going to be that guy.
Oh,
and I wanted to be on his good side.
I've known a couple people like that, yeah.
I wanted to get to me and be like, you're cool.
You know what's funny?
Obviously, he never shot up to school.
I had
but
a friend kind of like that too, but I didn't realize he was like that until like after high school. So then it like made me look back in like my high school years, like, was he really like that? Because he didn't really open up till like the senior year. He was like telling people to get out of his face and shit. He was like, cussing him out. It was ridiculous.
Maybe you saved that school?
Huh?
Maybe you saved that school by being that kid's friend.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. They need love too.
Maybe.
See, I was only worried about myself, so.
Just evil psychopaths. I didn't realize this one was on 420. The Deepwater Horizon drilling rig exploded in 2010. Did I say that already?
I do remember that now.
killing 11, causing the rig to sink, and it caused a massive oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. And this one happened here in Loveland. Well, Loveland Pass. Is that different than Loveland?
Yeah, that's down south.
Okay, well, Loveland Pass. 2013. Do you remember this one? Were you here in 2013?
Nope.
No.
That was the year of the big flood.
Yeah.
Because my birthday is around September, and I remember that because I was mad. I wanted to go to Denver, and I-25 was closed down because it was all underwater.
Oh, jeez.
Shit.
Well, on April 20th that year, 5 snowboarders were killed by an avalanche in Loveland Pass, Colorado.
I've driven up that pass. That's one of my favorite driving roads. Just nice, twisty, uphill climb. And in the wintertime, there'll be snowboarders and skiers waiting at the bottom, trying to thumb a ride up to the top, and they ski down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, over there on the backside. Because, a lot of backcountry skiers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fun driving road.
I've seen an avalanche not far from me when they were blasting, and I don't know, it doesn't seem very scary, but when you're up close, it's just
Yeah, from a distance, you're safe or whatever, but I'm sure that thing chasing you down the mountain would be scary as fuck.
Oh, sure. Oh god, I'm about to die.
Hey, I like all those movies. I've seen it all.
All the avalanche ones?
What is it, Everest?
So, last year, 2018, the Commonwealth countries decide Prince Charles will succeed Queen Elizabeth as the next leader of the Commonwealth. So, all hail the new king.
I thought he couldn't be king because he got divorced.
I don't fucking know.
We haven't had to worry about that.
That's a ridiculous institution anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
So
we really haven't been needing to worry about that since 1774-ish?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had to worry about it. They're not my king. And that brings us to today, where we are party 1990, like it's 2019. Yay!
Woo!
19, jeez.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I'm stoned, man.
You almost went there.
Yeah.
You almost turned into Prince. Where do you want to start out? Let's history of use. First person recorded to use cannabis. Chinese Emperor Shennong, I'm going to say, used it about 5,000 years ago. So that'd be about 3,000 BC.
Huh.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
3,000 BC? Yeah.
They had written about its medical values. They used it for gout, malaria, arthritis, and, funnily enough, absent-mindedness.
It only treats some of those, but cool.
I found it very amusing that they used cannabis for absent-mindedness.
It's funny.
It made it to Europe around 500 AD. Muslims used it. They called it hashish. That word. They used it as a way to get around the ban on alcohol in their religion. They're forbidden to drink in the Muslim religion, but
you're right. I thought weed was
doesn't say anything about hashish.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the Spanish brought it to the Americas in 1545. So you have this idea of the peace pipe with the Native Americans. That wasn't weed that they were smoking. That was mostly tobacco, and they had some kind of weak, similar to cannabis plant over here. But when they brought it over and they got a hold of it, they quickly realized that it had medicinal benefits too.
Oh.
So a lot of the shaman and shit would use it, the medicine men.
So are we saying it's safe to say it originated in China?
Yeah, Central Asia.
Wow, okay.
I was going to say, there was a really cool article when I was doing all these things, and I pulled it up. I mean, I can read what it says. It was talking kind of about, the origin of cannabis.
Uh-huh.
So it says, they theorize that marijuana evolved somewhere in South Central Asia, anywhere between 55 million and 5 million years ago. Fossilized pollen records show that 2.5 million years ago, cannabis seeds migrated had taken root in modern-day Africa, Eastern Europe, and as far as Thailand. The different environments that cannabis colonized, forced the plant to adapt and change to different climates. These adaptations are thought to be the reason why there are many different subspecies of cannabis.
Oh. Cool.
But then they had like a really cool chart, and it shows you like
what site is that?
So this is from that article where I have to like put in my information being badged, and like they kind of reach out to us and teach us more. So then they like ask you a little, like there's a little quiz, but it's pretty cool because like you hit one, and so it's talking about China, and it says ancient China manuscripts dating back to the 3rd century reference the use of cannabis-infused teas to treat a wide variety of medical conditions. It's pretty crazy.
I don't think current medicine agrees that marijuana treats malaria. So don't treat yourself with weed if you have malaria. Do something else.
Modern medicine also says that radiation is good to kill cancer that's going to kill you.
Yeah, well, there's that too. But I'm just saying, it doesn't treat malaria.
I mean,
Get your kids vaccinated.
I'm not a doctor.
You're more of a doctor than the rest of us.
This one says
you're an animal doctor.
Experts believe that the first cannabis plant was most likely the indica variety. To this day, wild indica strains still blanket the mountainsides of the Hindu Kush and the Himalayan mountains.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Really? Indica? I try to avoid indica.
I mean, I feel like there's a shit ton of indica out there.
I like indica.
So
I don't get it.
Africa.
What's the point?
It says Africa, the warm, sunny climates of Africa also promoted the growth of cannabis sativa. Narrow-leafed cannabis plants producing low amounts of THC continue to grow naturally all throughout the jungles of Africa.
Cool.
It's crazy. But they have a whole section about like endocannabinoids and like how they deal with the receptors in your brain. It's pretty crazy.
Neat.
It's called the ECS, endocannabinoid system.
That the sea squirts evolved.
Yeah, right.
It
doesn't
throwback to an hour ago.
I think sea squirt is my new favorite animal.
But there is a really cool timeline about like evolution of cannabis. First recorded. This says the first recorded use of cannabis. It's not loading. But I mean, I can jump in if you want to.
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
So once it made it this way, they started growing it for use as hemp more than the THC end of things, for rope and
which is another amazing facet of cannabis.
That you can use it for paper and rope, and you can make hemp plastic, I think,
plastic,
too.
Yeah, plastic bags that don't take all the chemicals that it makes plastic. Or tires that never...
Ford made a hemp plastic car, like in the 40s or 50s, I think it was.
I made a hemp hat once.
Yeah.
I'm going to now, though.
George Washington and Thomas Jefferson both grew hemp on their farms, their plantations, their land, whatever you want to call them. And at the very least, the first 2 copies, or drafts rather, of the Declaration of Independence were written on hemp paper.
Oh. So the ones that are around?
The
ones that are around that are Nicolas Cage tried to steal?
That would have been the final copy that he's tried to steal. Okay. This was the first 2 drafts. At least the first 2 drafts.
Okay. Cool.
Supposedly the first U.S. flag was made out of hemp, too.
Betsy Ross?
No. But her family promoted the shit out of that shit.
Fuck yeah. I heard that no, it was nothing like that.
What do you think the first state to outright ban cannabis was? Make it illegal to use and have and smoke and...
Ohio?
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts?
Oh man, I don't know. Because I found a timeline, so as you're talking, I'm
okay.
trying to find the answers.
California.
Oh,
was
shit.
the first state to make cannabis illegal.
When?
Wow.
1913.
I mean, they're on top of that shit, which they kind of have to. There's some crime there.
Only because it's illegal.
Yeah,
well, it contributed. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, does it say anything as to the legislation or as to why or anything?
I didn't dig that far into it.
Okay.
But yeah, they were the first one to illegalize it.
I know that Reefer Madness was a big thing. Like, people saw that documentary, they were like, oh my god.
That came a little while later.
Did you just call it a documentary? It's not a documentary.
No, well, I mean...
I'm
faux... What?
You're right. It was. I think it was actually a PSA, right?
It was a propaganda film.
Yes.
We'll get to it in just a second.
Oh, okay.
In the 1920s, tea pads became popular.
Tea pads?
This was during the Prohibition years.
Tea pads?
Tea pads is what they called them. They were just pot bars, basically. Because they had made alcohol illegal, but cannabis wasn't illegal yet. So it saw a spike in the 20s.
That's funny.
During Prohibition. As a result of that, in the 1930s, the Federal Bureau of Narcotics claimed it was addictive. And in 1936, Reefer Madness came out,
Great,
which was a propaganda film financed by a church group.
What church group? Was it West Baptist?
I'm pretty sure they weren't a thing.
Damn. I bet they would, though. Sorry.
In 1970, the Controlled Substance Act made cannabis a Schedule I drug, which means they claim it had no medical value at all.
Well, that also means it's...
You can't research it, because it has, quote-unquote, no medical value.
I was about to say that they say it's a hallucinogen, as like acid and shit is, but no, I don't think that's what Schedule 1 means, so I'm going to retract what I just said.
No, Schedule 1 just means it has no medical value.
Okay.
Schedule 2, I think, they call it may have some medical value, and then Schedule 3 would be things that do. 1975, the Mexican government destroyed all of their cannabis plants. They straight up banned it and just burned it all.
Sorry?
1975.
Really? Okay. That seems pretty recent.
Yeah, I mean...
That was during... What Escobar was during that time, right?
Was that the 70s or the 80s when Escobar was a thing?
I guess, it was the 80s.
Or was it?
I think it was both.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine he would span that gap.
I know he was around during 75.
War on drugs.
Could look it up.
Since they've
I have to pick my phone up.
done all that shit. Since they've started the war on drugs, prison populations in the U.S. have exploded.
It's been very profitable for the prison industrial complex.
Mm-hmm. The U.S. has 4% of the world's population as a total. Wow. The U.S. also has 25% of all incarcerated people in the world. Most of them due to the war on drugs.
Stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid shit. It should all be legal.
Life's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
We mentioned earlier that in 1913, California became the first state to make pot illegal. They were the first state to legalize medical marijuana as well in 1996.
Really? 96? I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for medical. Colorado and Washington were the first two states to legalize recreational use in 2012.
Yeah. I was shocked by that election. I watched that election night, and I was like, oh my fucking God, I can't believe they actually legalized recreational marijuana. I didn't think I would see that in my lifetime. Like, I always talked about it.
I remember that day because my ex, we were having dinner with his parents, and his family is really Catholic, and my family is like really, Catholic, and it was kind of just something I didn't really talk about with my family, but she was like, oh yeah, I voted for it, and I'm just like, yeah, and then it just like passed, and I was like, this is amazing, like,
yeah,
and then they just never looked back.
How long did it take between them passing it and actually getting dispensaries and everything?
It was probably a good while, because I remember they were like, it's going to be the first of that year, and then it didn't end up being for a while. Like, I don't know. But it says today 29 states in the District of Columbia have some laws that enable the use of marijuana. 29. It's not bad.
More than half.
That gets us pretty much up to date on
And
as far
that
as
brings us to 4/20/2019.
woo!
I have a sound.
I just did it.
Yeah! Oh, well, fuck, man. That's...
Since we were just talking about legal states, legal countries.
Legal countries.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend I went to high school with. He is an English teacher, and he was living in Vietnam, but now he lives in, Taiwan? But apparently it's the death penalty if you're found with weed, but other things
Really?
are okay.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were, playing Overwatch, and he, made a joke, and I was like, is that for real?
Oh, shit.
I don't exactly know where he is, but apparently somewhere it's, the death penalty, or, you get in a lot of trouble.
I think that's a recent development. That actually you get death. But I believe, and I might be totally wrong, but I think when that happened, I think Trump said praised the guy for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I might be making that shit up. That's just, but that sounds like something that would happen.
So, legal countries.
Legal countries.
Uruguay.
Canada.
Uruguay was the first one to legalize cannabis.
Good
Mm-hmm.
for that.
As a country as a
Yep.
whole.
Good at
Yep.
soccer and
What year?
I didn't write down what year.
Wait, even before Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
First one to legalize cannabis. You have to be 18 or up to buy it, and you must be a resident of Uruguay, so you can't be a tourist and go over there.
Oh. Sure,
All of their grow and dispensary and all that is all state run too.
Oh. I'm not sure I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably shitty weed though.
Colombia, you're allowed to have up to 22 grams. It's illegal to sell, but you're allowed to have up to 20 plants for personal use.
I guess
Spain,
if you work for it, you can have it, huh?
Yeah. Spain, it's legal to grow and use only on private property. It's illegal to sell.
Grow your own shit.
Mm-hmm. Huh? Costa Rica, it's technically illegal, but they don't give a fuck. They don't enforce it. So, ish.
Okay.
In the Czech Republic, medical is legal with a prescription. You're allowed to have less than 15 grams or 5 plants.
That's restrictive, but okay.
Ecuador, you're allowed to have less than 10 grams. Jamaica is technically illegal, but it's decriminalized for religious purposes.
Oh, shit,
So,
really?
So, you can't, but you can.
Mm-hmm.
Peru, you're allowed to have less than 8 grams. Portugal decriminalized all drug use. Go Portugal.
Yeah.
Fucking
Party in
recreational
Portugal.
cocaine.
Yeah.
Where were we? Portugal decriminalized all drug use. It's illegal to grow or sell it, though. But you're allowed to smoke it.
Get it from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Import, yeah.
The Netherlands, Amsterdam. It's technically illegal.
Really?
Yep. Possession up to 5 grams is decriminalized, though. Licensed coffee shops are allowed to sell it,
Coffee shop.
but
It's
you
like
can
a
only
big-
have up to...
It's like a what?
It's like those bakeries with those big ganja brownies.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, there's-
Yeah.
Euro Trip.
That's true.
You ever see that one?
Yeah.
those
I've
are just
seen
normal brownies.
Freaking out. That's one of my favorite movies.
There's no weed in his bag. Or whatever he says. Well, that's a good one.
I fucking love that one. Yeah. Coffee shops are allowed to sell it, but technically they can only have 5 grams on them too.
Weird.
So it's a weird kind of backdoor legal but not legal way of doing
Just
things.
like constant supply.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it's just a constant supply chain, probably.
Yeah.
If they actually follow it, you know. Romania, medicinal is legal. Switzerland, you're allowed to grow up to 4 plants, but you can't sell them. The U.S. had, you said, 29 states with some form of legal, whether it be medicinal or recreational.
Right.
Do you know what the only country where cannabis is 100% legal?
Canada.
Oh, I forgot that. I took these notes before it had updated with Canada. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, it's not. There's still restrictions of some sort in each of their provinces.
Oh, okay.
But there's one country where cannabis is 100% legal.
Let me guess. The Republic of Congo.
No. H?
Sorry.
One country in the world where cannabis is 100% legal.
Which one in the world where... you said what?
He said the Republic
One
of Congo.
country?
Yeah.
You said Canada?
Yes.
It's not Canada or the Republic of Congo.
I have no idea.
No.
Wakanda. What is the...
Wakanda?
The Black Panther.
Yeah. Spain.
No. We already talked about Spain.
France.
No.
Do we get multiple...
Apparently, because he's just going to fucking name him until he gets there. He's not going to get it, though.
Mexico.
No.
Madagascar. Some weird fucking country. Papua New Guinea.
It is going to be a random country.
Okay, whatever. What?
North Korea.
What?
Oh,
Yep.
shit.
Told you we're never going to get it.
Wow.
They don't even
What is
consider it a
that?
drug in North Korea.
Well,
Yep.
Kim Jong-il, that short little fucker.
Maybe people go there for the weed.
Maybe that's it.
That's
We
why
need to
they
get
look
some
so
that
happy,
some
but kind of
good-ass
not happy.
American weed
They're
over there
trying
to
to-
fix everything.
You know what they're doing? They're trying to fake that they are happy, but they're just that high. It's so hard to fake it when you're trying so hard.
Yeah, so the one and only
Wow.
100% legal country,
That's interesting.
North Korea.
Huh.
The irony.
Yeah. So I can't wrap my head around that really. Like you get
Yeah, like I said, they don't even consider it a drug.
you get beaten to death for stealing a poster, but
You and, 2-3 generations of your family get sent to prison for having American media or propaganda against the state or whatever.
so smoke up.
Yep. I suppose you
What
get
the-
stoned as shit, you just don't care that you're a slave.
How good could the weed be?
Right?
Like, can you? Is
Maybe they're on top of the weed game. We don't
You're right,
know.
yeah.
Maybe.
It could be, yeah.
can we get?
I wonder if
some
they're keeping it, natural.
That's what caused that famine. They fucking used up all their land on the weed. Is that long enough ago to joke about that one?
Oh yeah. Human atrocity.
Well done.
That was great. That was good.
Just
I'll drink to that. Once again, we're
Yeah.
Keef Cola is what I'm drinking.
Blue Raz.
The blue rose is good.
You can't even.
I
taste
really like this blingy gold thing. We're gonna take a picture.
You can't
No, we
taste
took
the
a picture.
cannabis. It's in there somehow.
It's in there
I
somewhere.
can't taste it. Can you?
Otherwise stoned, yo, and still working on it. I ate another cookie.
You got anything else over there?
No,
I feel like I've been
we've
going
got
for a
the
while.
modern day. I'm tapped.
Okay. So, what's your favorite strain?
Yeah, Golden Go.
Same. H?
I'm gonna. Can I include this drink? Because it's been keeping me
Sure,
going
yeah.
somehow.
Hey,
Still the game
it's a
somehow?
blue dream, I think.
It's the Blue Dream. That's right. Blue Raz.
Blue Raz. It's blue,
Yeah.
blue Raz.
I
But-
previously
Oh, the-
mispronounced
Sometimes it
that.
tells you.
but-
Oh, the actual strain, because Blue Raz is not a strain.
Right.
I feel like they used to. It's been a while.
Or something Raz. But anyway,
Well,
It's-
go up to
it's
NA,
It's just
Natural
Yeah.
Alternatives for Health, and check out the Blue Raz.
Yes. You know, that company actually, they started making, they call it de-alkalized beer. So the guy who did Blue Moon sold his recipe, but it doesn't de-alkalized, whichever that means. And then
I
they
guess
put
they say it. Make
they
it more
put weed
acidic.
into it.
So it's 5 milligrams of THC per beer.
Minus the alcohol.
Right. So I was trying. I mean,
that's only half the fun.
It kind of had a good.
Well,
taste.
You can't mix the 2 in 1 apparently.
Right. But then the thing is like if you have a friend who doesn't drink alcohol, it's like, is that a trigger? Like here, this is beer. That's actually weed. Doesn't have alcohol in it. Drink this. Yeah.
Is that a consideration? I mean,
I don't know. It's like
it's
like,
oh, we don't drink. Oh, it's all right. It's weed.
It's like what's the market for that? Like
that's so true.
Me, I'll drink it.
I mean, it didn't taste.
It's just going to bring everybody together.
Does
you
it
know?
Stone?
It really is.
I'm not.
It's only 5 milligrams. So you think like 10 milligrams is the serving. So you could have. I mean, you think how much alcohol is a beer? So you have 4 of those 5 milligrams. You might start feeling something, but. It's kind of how beer is, you know. Like,
yeah, I get it.
Give me 50 milligrams.
Here, drink half of this.
So there's going to be like, actually.
Yeah, that's 100 mil.
Oh, yeah.
I ate 100 mil of gummies before I watched WrestleMania last week before, whenever the fuck that was. And that's when I realized I ate way too many gummies. Because like 100 milligrams, I was like, meh. A little stoned, but kind of wish I had more.
When I used to fly in and out of Denver, I used to, the whole way, smoke weed, like, the entire way there. Get rid of my car, fucking eat a whole candy bar, and then, like, halfway through the security line, I just get fucking stoned.
Yeah.
My eyes go,
I did that last time I flew. I had edibles that I was going to be out of town for like 2 weeks. I wanted to get rid of them so they wouldn't go bad on me, right? So I ate, 50, 60 milligrams, threw the thing in the trash can as I walked into the airport, made it through security before they kicked in. But I'm sitting there at the gate, and they're like, all of a sudden it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Like, they're really pleasant, like, that much on a flight.
Mm-hmm. I stuck my headphones on, I got a Game Boy with me, I'm just playing fucking Pokemon, and...
Yeah.
It was good shit. It was the best flight ever.
To all responsible adults, I suggest you eat an entire candy bar right before you walk into the airport.
The recreational serving size is 10 milligrams. It's funny. I actually had it wasn't a bad experience. It was different. I was flying home for Christmas with my friend at the time, and I had friends give me like other edibles, so I wasn't really sure how much to take. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. We'll just split this candy bar. And we make it through security, sit down to like have like a burger at the airport. And I just can't even order because I can't focus on the menu. And I'm just like watching the plane and all these like little like people watching. But I remember eating like half of the sandwich, but I couldn't chew it because my mouth was so dry. But I didn't want to like bug the lady for more water, so I was just like, I'm uncomfortable. But my mom was picking me up at the airport, so it just crashed on the plane. But it was all good. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Highly recommend flying high.
Does anybody? I kind of want to.
All you. I brought these.
Go for it, man.
Like. Do a stupid amount real quick.
That's 100 milligram in that one bottle.
It's the future of water.
Anybody care?
I don't care.
All right. It's a Darby
for
donut.
Science. You know, sometimes
to experiment on himself.
On my days off, I do like taking a lot to see what I can handle and like what experiences I get from things. But I'll chug way too much of certain things or like eat a whole thing just to see like which one was stronger in the end. You know, for science.
For science.
Maybe I was higher than I thought because I had a flask, not.
Oh God, that was
100 milligrams of gum.
Did you just chug that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was so good.
Thanks. We didn't want to try it.
Wait, really?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, there's a little,
a little backwash.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fucked up in like an hour.
Yeah.
I don't think those cookies kicked in yet either.
You had
420. Yay!
Oh, it's alright. We need a sound thing.
Hold on, she's on it.
We need an iPad that's only the sound thing.
I do have a tablet
you
you could use just for sound effects.
Insert sound effects.
Too.
Here.
I should just get a separate sound effects board.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to load one on my tablet sometime and play with it.
For clowns.
What am I doing? I'm doing the fucking yays.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're high already, huh?
Give it a minute.
Give it a minute.
So what do you guys do when you're high? You're sitting around on your day off or whatever. Smoke it up. Edible, whatever. What are you guys doing?
This is why we call me Papa Darby here.
Everybody hang on.
I usually get real stoned and go to work. Do complex science.
I call you like the stoner version of a high functioning alcoholic. Like,
Yeah.
You're just constantly high. Or like
yeah, I smoke a bunch of weed like all the time.
H?
Repeat the question.
It's your day
I
off.
gotta finish this thing off.
It's your day off. You're smoking it up. What are you doing?
Once again, my Keef Cola, Blue Raz, is keeping me going. And, I'm just playing video games. Just when I'm off of work. Luckily, I have a wife that enjoys playing video games as well. So.
Lucked out on that one,
The
didn't
wife that kicks your ass.
Yeah, she's way better than
I am. She's Anyway. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Watching movies, watching TV, and.
What video games are you playing right now?
Right now, I just got the Division 2. Is that like the cool story, bro? Yeah, no.
So
It. That was it.
What game was that? I couldn't hear you over the random applause.
The Division.
The Division?
Yeah.
There's so many.
We've been playing Red Dead 2.
Yeah, people are kind of over that game.
Yeah, right?
They
I loved that game when it came out, but I'm kind of burned out.
Sound effects. I'm experimenting while we're recording.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Fucking dial up?
Anyway, sorry. Please continue.
We're low budget, but damn, dude. You?
I forgot the question.
What do you do when you
Oh, yes. A lot of times, I try to be productive and wake up early. I like to take my dogs for a walk and get high.
You're awake and baker?
Yes. Well, you think about it, it's the longest time you go without smoking when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Breakfast?
Yeah. Coffee and some weed, and then I go for a walk. But it's funny because, I don't know, doing animal medicine stuff, sometimes I wonder if I smoke weed, does it affect my relationship with my dog? Like, am I in a better mood? So my dog's going to be better behaved? Cause
my dog loves when I get stoned.
I get stoned, but sometimes I take into consideration, like, oh, this one helped me, like, not be an asshole.
Yeah.
Or, like, my dog isn't good when I smoke this.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like weed will make me irritable, but then I just play video games and kill, like the 14-year-olds just raging on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog loves when I get stoned. She, crawl up next to me and I scratch her behind the ear, and I forget I'm scratching her behind the ear, and she's just all super into it. Yeah, I'll play video games, watch movies, documentaries, whatever. I randomly like to get high and learn shit. Like, I studied fucking orcas for a couple hours one day because I was interested in orcas that day.
Orcas?
Yeah, fucking orcas are awesome.
Okay.
One time I got baked and just started reading shit about mountains. Because I was texting you. That was
yeah. Well, we were gonna do Evans. That
was
14er that you can drive all the way up on.
Yeah.
Isn't that Evans?
Yeah, Mount Evans, the highest paved road in America.
Yeah. We were gonna do that one, so he was thinking of mountains he couldn't get out of.
You went and did that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we drove it.
I remember. I think I called you that day or some shit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, well, you guys had Cal here the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did a podcast with him.
Yeah, that was the first episode that went up.
He spoke of H. That's me. I'm not H.
Yeah, this is the guy that goes mountain climbing with Kyle, the tour guide from our first episode.
The guy with the giant testicles, right?
Yeah, that went and climbed a 14er in the wintertime by himself.
Yeah.
I don't know how he carries those balls around with him.
I just saw the documentary Free Solo. I couldn't watch it. It was giving me anxiety. He free climbs up
without
the Yosemite.
anything, right?
Oh goodness!
Yeah.
What?
Well, it was crazy.
Like fucking real life Spider-Man shit.
Yeah. So apparently he trained for it, but he was getting worried that people filming it would make him his energy be too cocky. But then they went into he did an MRI of his brain, and they were talking about how something in his childhood made him suppress that natural thing to be afraid or be scared, so he doesn't necessarily feel that.
Oh dang!
But he's free solo climbing a whole bunch of shit.
He's got that's superpowers. That's the closest thing we noticed.
I heard a clip from Rogan a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about somebody who that part of their brain doesn't fire. I bet that's
Yeah,
who they
it
were
was
talking
crazy
about.
because he was in a relationship at the time, and she was like okay with the fact that he was going to go climb this. He didn't care if he didn't come back. Like he didn't care about how she would feel. And she's like, I just have to get used to that's like who he is.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
Free
she didn't
Solo?
want to psych him out. Like she was always like, do what you want and like just be who you are.
What is it on?
I think Free Solo is on Hulu, but I saw it a couple weeks. But I think Hulu got it on there if you have Hulu.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you can find it.
I think I've seen it.
He's written a couple
Oh.
books. Like I remember them interviewing his mom.
Do you remember his name?
No, but like he's pretty well known. He's not very old either.
Everybody's searching.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd assume the person would just cut here.
Is it Alex Hanold?
That sounds right.
Cool.
This documentary.
Yosemite National Park, California.
Yeah.
Renowned rock climber. Saturday became the first person to scale. Blah 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 blah
Is
blah.
it half dome? Or
What?
What is it? What is he scaling in Yosemite?
El Capitan.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he does it in like 3 hours, which is ridiculous.
Jeez.
He's a little.
I have no interest in that shit.
No, it's crazy.
No.
I do like rock climbing. I like it a lot. Not something like that though.
Well,
No, I don't. I wouldn't ever do that.
You guys heard
I'd
about
much
that?
rather just jump in a car and find some twisty road and call
I
it
do
good.
that too. I love being in the mountains doing anything really.
That trail runner who got attacked by the mountain lion
That
in
guy.
Fort Collins.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit.
it is.
Yeah.
It was a baby.
I do that hill.
It was
I
like
do
what
that
was it?
trail all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
oh,
like
yeah.
a, it was
So
like
did
a
we.
juvenile mountain lion or whatever.
Yeah. He stomped it out with his foot.
Well, he
Yeah.
choked it. Yeah, he
Yeah,
choked it out.
strangled it.
Jeez.
That's nuts. I
That is-
lost my shit.
I hope he gets to keep that. I'd mount that bitch for sure.
Oh fuck yeah! Like yeah.
You keep it.
I think I had it mounted on its back, like in the position to get it strangled, so that I could sell it as a photo op for like people to like get their picture taken strangling a mountain lion.
That's brilliant.
That
I
is
like
brilliant.
that.
That's like Disneyland, man.
Right?
That's like an attraction.
Pay your medical bills and shit, and the cost of getting it mounted.
Later. Thank you very much.
Music wise, you guys just get stoned and listen to music ever?
That is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
I do like to eat
That's-
grapes or just like
Grapes?
I don't know. I feel like fruit.
Have you had those crazy cotton candy grapes?
No.
What?
Where the hell did Kay get those?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, the big giant.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking nuts. I'm not a grape person, but I'm not really a cotton candy person either. But those were weird and interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I just think that's something from when I was younger. That's when I would know I was high. Is I'd go get I'd eat something like cereal would taste better, or like I'm so high. Like I always get the munchies, but it's just an excuse to eat.
That's a different way to look at that.
what are you listening to?
I mean, I'm kind of all over the place. When I'm high, I like to listen to some weird stuff. I was kind of an emo kid growing up, so I liked Anthony Green a lot, but now he's got some weird shit called like The Sound of Animals Fighting. And it's just weird sounds, but I don't know, like Portugal the Man, like I don't know, I think I kind of like everything.
You said a string of words that I didn't understand. I know, I understood all the words, but all the put together in that order, I didn't get that.
So they're just ridiculous band names.
And they're what sort of genre? Emo?
So it's like, no, I mean just like alternative. I don't know,
Okay.
I never felt like I grew out of I used to love the Smashing Pumpkins and like
Okay.
Nirvana. And
I'm sorry, you look young. I can't place your age at all.
I'm 31.
Okay.
I'll be 32 in September.
Okay. Yes, I like them too, growing up and stuff.
So I'm still the youngest and you're still the oldest.
Yeah.
And I'm somewhere in the middle.
6 months older than me.
That's right.
You're on the low end. I guess no. I skew way high.
yeah, you really fuck up the curve. Yeah, this is 30 to 31, and then you're over there fucking shit up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm on the wrong side.
So you just listen to music when you're stoned, or?
Yeah. So not me so much. My wife, Kay. She likes to take baths and listen to music. I don't think I've ever done that or tried it. It's definitely something that I'm going to try now.
See, I'll kick back and put like some Tom Petty on. Larkin Poe, really good blues band. It's two sisters out of Georgia, Carolinas, somewhere around there.
Never heard of them.
They're fucking great.
Yeah.
Really good covers. They did Black Betty. Really fucking good cover.
Cool. Black Betty. Bam, like that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Marty Ray Project. You guys familiar with him at all?
No.
Who?
No. Marty Ray Project?
No.
I'm like probably one of the few people that know who the fuck he is. Another kind of bluesy, acoustic, kind of does a lot of really good covers.
Cool.
Lately, Scold's new album just came out a couple weeks ago now, and that's all I fucking listened to since it came out.
And they're going to Denver for your birthday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're playing Denver on my birthday, so that's what I'm doing.
It's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been able to listen to an album all the way through. I think the last one I was kind of late to discover was Coheed and Cambria. The one with I can't think of
a movie or what?
Coheed and Cambria, the band.
Yeah, a song, or are you trying to
the album front to back?
album?
Oh
I like
goodness!
the one that has the Bye Bye Beautiful song on it.
Because I think you've mentioned this before, and that's
I
fine.
like Coheed. Have you ever read their novels or
their comic book? Yeah, the Emery Wars. Yeah. God damn it.
You're gonna get us copyrighted.
Anyway, but it was one of the earlier ones. One of the
the only one I know by them is Welcome Home.
Yeah, it's not that one. I love that one.
Yeah, that one's a good one. Because the one previous, I remember that one. It had that really catchy. I used to always have a thing that.
And I think it's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. They all look similar on the covers. Like I can picture the cover.
Oh, I can't think of a name of the song. It's like a lot of the songs are the same number 1 through 4. Anyway, just continue.
Okay. So Scold, best musician on the planet.
Okay.
And I have photographic evidence to back that up.
Perfect circle.
I was looking at his new album. I just got it the other day. Pre-ordered it. When he pre-ordered it, you got a signed copy, so I got that. Here's the credits on his new album. It's Scold, Never Is Now. Produced by Tim Scold. Performed, engineered, and recorded by Tim Scold. All songs written and composed by Tim Scold. Art and design by Tim Scold. Mastering by Tim Scold. Published by Dimension Gate Music. The only thing he didn't do by himself was publish it.
Sounds kind of douchey.
If you're that good, like he has the ability to make his music exactly the way he wants it.
That's cool. I'm not mad.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, he literally does everything by himself. Goes, put this out, and that's what they do.
Cool. I can't name a song. I don't know who that is. I don't know his voice.
If his most popular, famous song is "Chaos."
Nope.
It was in Twisted Metal 4, I think. I think it was used in a couple movies. Hail Mary was another one I think was used in a movie too.
Tupac did Hail Mary.
Okay.
I know that one.
Yeah, Scold started out, he's a Swedish musician originally with an 80s hair band. Emigrated to the U.S. They had to change their name because there was already a band here using that same name. So they became Shotgun Messiah. Put out a couple albums. Went solo. Joined KMFDM. Then MDFMK. Went solo. Joined Marilyn Manson. Went back to KMFDM. Solo. Ogre. Solo.
So that's what happened with Scold.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I got a big old music boner for him.
Yeah, you do.
I recently in February got to see Elton John.
Oh, really?
Perfect timing on that one.
Yeah. So
I bet that's a good show.
One of the managers at the dispensary, we were just out at Old Town, and she was like, I really like Elton John. I don't know. I've always like.
I like Elton John too.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his farewell tour, I had wanted to go, but she ended up scoring tickets row 16 on the floor and was like, "I'm gonna drive you.
Yeah.
Let's have
I know
a good
all
time."
the songs, really.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow,
like
He's one of those guys that like everybody has at least something they like by Elton John.
There's a movie.
He's been around.
but he's 74 and he was just like
Is he really?
killing it on the
He still
piano.
has a powerful voice, doesn't he?
Wow.
Well, like even just wailing on the piano, it was awesome.
He has
I've never seen live.
energy.
I would love to.
He has a crazy amount of energy.
Well,
He still seems like his persona seems robust, but maybe that's
how close we were.
Oh wow. That's not bad at all.
Like she
That's
bought
awesome.
tickets and I was like, Cheyenne, we like walked onto the floor and I'm like, what tickets did you buy? Like,
Oh shit!
like
That's awesome.
I felt like so grateful that I was like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was pretty sweet.
Not as cool as Elton John, but me and a buddy won front row tickets to Jason Aldean at Blossom Music Center. That was a good show. Sold out show.
I used to go to the 4th of July concert every year at Blossom.
Oh, at Blossom?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of shows there.
Other than that, I've seen a few. I've seen Dave Matthews there a bunch.
Fucking Dave Matthews. You're going Dave Matthews? I was just thinking, I've been to like 2 or 3 Ozfests, a couple Mayhem Fests, like big old metal festivals. You're like, Dave Matthews.
Yeah. No, Dave Matthews like 15 times. But
who have you seen the most times? Dave Matthews?
Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
The best, though, was
Marilyn Manson. I've seen Manson like 4 times, maybe.
Okay. The best show
I saw
I've ever
Celtic
seen.
Women once.
Who?
Celtic Women?
Celtic Women.
Yeah. You've never heard of it?
Yeah. You saw
have?
that?
Yeah.
Did you like that?
It's weird.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Goddamn! The old lead singer to Pink Floyd. Forget his fucking name, but I saw his tour in Cleveland, and that was the best show. He played "Shine on You, Crazy Diamond," and like just the stage was like they were playing that trippy ass music, and there was just like a light that looked like a diamond in the middle of a black background, and everybody's just stoned and fucked up. And I was a teenager, so I was extra fucking stoned, and I was just tripping out on this diamond as they play. It was really fucking cool.
That's the best show you've ever seen?
Sounds
The
awesome.
best show I've ever seen.
H? You got a best show ever
Best show ever
that you've ever been to?
I went to very few. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a big music guy, right?
I saw like.
You're a big Jack
what
White
was
fan,
the
aren't you?
Roger Waters, that's the name
I
of it.
saw Jack White and the Raconteurs.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I saw. He was like 6, so he couldn't even sing. So it was kind of
Oh, that sucks.
But
Jack White was
Jack
6.
White was sick. Yeah.
Oh, sick. I
Yeah.
thought you said 6. I was like,
No.
I'm
trying to think. Oh, what's that band? Fucking the guy from Tom DeLonge or whatever.
Oh, Blink-182?
Yeah.
Or Angels and Airwaves?
Angels and
Or
Airwaves. Yeah.
Red Boxcar or something or other. I don't know which one it
Boxcar
is.
Racer.
Okay.
Yeah. Jimmy Eat World, like weird. Yeah.
I like a couple of Jimmy Eat World songs.
Yeah.
I fucking love me some Blink-182.
Okay, sure.
That was like middle school, early high school for me.
But
that was a little older,
you know,
like later for me.
I guess my favorite one would be the Raconteurs one. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, that was like right where like that age where you start listening to your own music and not your parents' music anymore. That was like Blink-182 era for me.
Oh, I was
Blink-182 and
in the ghetto and angry inside. It was
Good Charlotte.
Tupac.
Good Charlotte was the shit back in the day.
I was in my 20s.
Yeah, I'd have been like 13 to 16, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Fucking millennials.
You? Best show?
I am a huge fan of Red Rocks, so I've seen a couple. I've seen Ween a couple times. Like they do pretty. Ween does pretty good live stuff. Like it's not normally my style, but they have a whole bunch of different kinds of music all in the same.
That's that trippy.
Yeah.
I used to listen to that album all the time. That's the same album I told you.
There's like Black Pepper,
About-
and then like
Remember when Kyle was there?
they do the Voodoo Lady from what is it, Road Trip? That Voodoo Lady song. But they've been always been awesome. Portugal the Man I've seen at Red Rocks. That show was awesome. I really like Portugal the Man. Otherwise, last summer I saw Shaky Graves, but Jose Gonzalez opened for him.
Oh, I saw Green Day.
I don't recognize any of
Green Day
that
was a good show.
at all.
Yeah, it was.
Shaky
That's funny.
Graves is he was a solo artist from Austin, so he used to stand on like the
the sidewalks and play music, but he would play the guitar, sing, and he had like the tambourine like on his boot. So when he would, I don't know, he was like one of those one-man
band things.
You know what? There's some pretty good shows that come up to Fort Collins.
Yeah, FOCO MX is coming up. That's 300 bands.
Where is that?
What is it?
Fort Collins?
Yeah, the FOCO MX is it's not, I don't think it's 420 weekend. I think it's the next weekend, but
I'll be here that
there's 30 places in Old Town hosting 300 musicians throughout the Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'll be staying here that night.
You can get a wristband. I think it's like 30 or 40. I don't know. I've always tried to volunteer for it. That way you can just do it for free.
Yeah.
We should absolutely go.
We live close enough to volunteer for it. Will be competition for you to train.
So I have all your best concerts beat. I've been to a shit ton of concerts, though, so
what's that?
I might have that going for me. Rammstein. The single greatest live show ever.
Never saw. But have pretty good videos.
Mm-hmm. More pyrotechnics in one show than most bands use an entire tour. We had nosebleed seats because the tickets were that fucking expensive, and we could feel the heat coming off the stage from our seats.
That sounds uncomfortable.
It was awesome. I can't imagine how the people on the floor just didn't melt.
Some did.
They came out through the crowd, like on the side of the arena, had security parting the seas for them, right? To this little tiny stage out in the middle of the floor. Bridge comes down from the ceiling. They cross the bridge over to the main stage, play for like 30, 45 minutes. Bridge comes back down. They come out to that little stage. How many people are in Rammstein? Like 5, 6, 7 people or some shit. 2 guitarists, singer, keyboard, bass player, drummer. 6 people on this little tiny stage that's like no bigger than this room right here. In the middle of the floor and surrounded by people. So the people who had shitty seats on the floor now have the best seats in the house.
Huh.
Played for another 30 minutes or so. Bridge comes back down, cross back to the main stage. Play for like another 30 minutes. End of the show. No encore, just done. When they were done, they were done.
Nice. That sounds fun.
It was the fucking greatest thing I've ever seen.
Well, 420.
Santana once, too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
I bet that's a good show.
Yeah, and Santana was awesome. I saw him at Vegas, so it was like extra nice because you can have your drinks and shit. Which you normally can, right? I guess. Yeah, that was a good show.
Any live show, I really enjoyed. I love seeing live music.
I like
blues live. I love it. I used to work at a place called Fatfish
Blues. There's a Greeley Blues Fest in June or July, and Larkin Poe's going to be playing. I want to go check that one out.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah, I like live music. I've been to more concerts than I can remember. But I like bands that put on a theatrical show along with just playing the music. I saw Seether 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They came out on stage, played for like an hour and a half straight. Didn't talk in between songs. They just switched guitars, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when they were done, thank you, it's been fun, good night. And I appreciated that they didn't fuck around in between. I saw Rob Zombie years ago, and I'd wanted to see him for years. The very first CD I ever bought my own money was a Rob Zombie CD. Hellbilly Deluxe.
Yeah.
I'd been wanting to see him since I was like fucking 12, 13 years old. Finally get to see him. And he spent more time talking and bullshitting in between songs than he did playing music. And then he was like missing like every other word, like he was out of breath and shit. And it was like he went from the very first CD I ever bought, fucking loved him and everything, to like, fuck, that sucked. Like he just ruined himself in one night for me.
I wonder how often that happens.
Makes good movies.
Ish.
Because the one time I saw Jack White, he did
House and Rejects were good, but the Halloween ones.
I really love the reboot. I
didn't like the old ones either.
Well done. It was better than the first ones.
I'm not a Mike Myers fan, I guess.
I like all those 80s monsters. Mike Myers, Jason, Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger's my favorite.
I like Freddy.
Reincarnation.
Me too.
That one is so good.
Pinhead though. Pinhead's my dude. I got to meet him. I have an autographed poster and bobblehead signed by Doug Bradley. I got to meet him once.
Pretty
fucking cool ass dude.
Cool ass.
Met Gunnar Hansen once too. The guy that played Leatherface.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
He's dead now.
Yeah.
He's fucking enormous. Was enormous.
Yeah.
He's tall as fuck.
Cool. Sorry. He's dead.
I got his autograph before he died. I'm cool.
He fulfilled this.
I got a signed special edition Texas Chainsaw Massacre DVD.
Oh, cool. Nice. 420.
Yay!
Right that time. It's been fun. Very cool.
There you go.
When I fucking cough.
H. Dorie.
That's got to be in our intro.
Thank you.
In our intro music.
So this fucking shit is excellent. You got it at where?
Natural Alternatives for Health in Fort Collins.
Northern Colorado.
Doing some cool 420 specials.
What do you guys got coming up? Anything you want to promote?
Well, I mean, all week we've been doing sale on bud, but every day we were doing a different special on like dabs or vape pens.
Just so you know, this one is going to be posted on 420.
Yeah.
So just so everybody knows, she's talking about the week prior, right? Are you going to be doing the week after any 420
no.
stuff?
So this will be on 420. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but
so hurry up, get up.
You better get up and go.
Go back to the Dimensions episode.
That would fix it. That would fix the loop.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
All
Go
right.
listen to that episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Natural Alternatives for Health in Fort Collins.
So this has been Higher Minds Podcast.
The 420 holiday special.
Yay!
Yay!
Wait,
Too fucking slow.
slow.
What was that? I thought I was him saying that the first time. That's
where can you find us?
HigherMindsPodcast.com.
HigherMindsPodcast.com.
There you'll find links to our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud. Did I get them all this time?
Yes.
I think I did.
I think so. We're going to be starting to work on more platforms. We need to talk about, we had a couple more followers, and they're another podcast, and we are going to be collaborating with them here pretty soon. WikiLeaks on the Weed, they're pretty cool guys. I've talked to them a couple of times. They have a pretty cool podcast. They've got some interesting topics. They're more political than we are, but they talk about some cool shit. They seem pretty smart, and we are going to be doing something with them pretty soon.
Cool.
We're still recording, right?
Oh, shit, I forgot to hit record.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We're still recording.
Got him. Ah.
Anyway, so check us out there.
Yeah.
HigherMindPodcast.com.
Shout out to WikiLeaks on Weed and Natural Alternatives for Health.
Woo.
Yeah, thank you so much for everything you brought. We are fucked up.
Deuces, everybody.
Deuces.